Hey, Sanbonan. Welcome to yet another episode of Ringa Diski. Kamala Mustalo Gadlamini. Yeah, we have an exciting episode coming up for you guys. But before we go on to that, I would like to say thank you so much to everyone who's been watching. Thank you so much to Abantaba subscribers. Thank you so much to those who like and share and comment. Really do appreciate you guys. A huge shout out, Bafo. I see you, Bafo. I appreciate. Thank you so much. Also, a protocol I like is that we always also encourage those who have not subscribed yet to please go on to YouTube, please subscribe. Please share when you see our videos as well. Please inform, Abangan Bako tell their friends tell their friends, you know what I mean? And we get to spread the word and yeah, we grow this platform, right? So all protocol observed by Faye too. Let's get into the show, right? A couple of weeks back, I was talking about Erik ten Hag, right? Erik ten Hag is now formally with the Manchester United. He was the coach for Manchester United and they let him go this week, right? Finally, they let him go. But I must say, Uguti, what was interesting during this whole time is that the fans were not the ones who were the loudest, right? To ask for him to go. I actually haven't seen, maybe in this, YouTube shows and all those, maybe the fans have expressed it, but I've not seen like a mass a sort of movement to get him out. We've seen when the English fans don't want you anymore, they put up banners and they chant and they do all sorts of things. But those Manchester United fans were there through their tough times, went to watch them play in Europe as well. They traveled with the team and yeah, they're always there. Even when Old Trafford was leaking, those fans were always there to support, right? But yeah, finally the guy's gone. I think for him, for me, it would have been a relief, right? Like, it's been tough times. He's done everything he could have done, but his ideas clearly were not working. His way of doing things was not working. Some are saying he lost his change room, which happens most of the time when players are not sort of going along with your vision or what you want to, sort of showcase in the field of play, and the players are not buying into your plan. You tend to lose them, you know what I mean? And yeah, it's kind of difficult, we've seen, to sort of enforce ideas in a change room that you've lost. But nonetheless, Ruud van Nistelrooy comes in, or came in, and has already played his first game. And they scored like 5 goals, and like, where were those goals coming from, right? When Eric was there, we didn't get to see these goals. But it's natural, man. I think we see it all the time. We see it in football whenever there's a new coach or someone in charge, different to the guy who's just left. You see a change in players. You see a different mentality with players, and yeah, it's exciting times, right? They've also, they are going for a Portuguese coach. It's just like out there, if they've already not announced it by the time this comes out, they probably would announce it. This Sporting Lisbon coach that they are going for. Young coach, exciting coach, apparently. Also, winning coach, has done great things with Sporting Lisbon as reported, right? But Erik ten Hag, when he came to Manchester United, exciting coach, was doing great things at Ajax Amsterdam. Jose Mourinho, when he came to Manchester United, great coach, great record, winner of note, won a trophy with Manchester United, but clearly Manchester United is a different animal, right? It's a big team, I get that. It's a different animal. There's a legacy that you need to sort of chase. I think for them, it's the league, right? That's how I see it sometimes. That for them it's the league. For them it's the Champions League. Those are the two sort of main things they want to win and sort of dominate, right? And those coaches that I've just mentioned, Abu Van Gaal, they just never got to that level for Manchester United. But yeah, man, it's going to be interesting to see what the new coach comes and does with the players that are there, with the players that Eric was using or bought for the team. So it's going to be interesting how the new coach comes in, right? And does. And apparently this coach wants his own technical team, which is the norm in England or the norm in Europe. I think he's looking for 3 coaches to come with him. So that means Ruud van Nistelrooy is also going to have to leave or vacate his position as it seems, as it sits now. And it's quite interesting also in Europe that I come as a coach, I come with my entourage. There's like 3 or 4 coaches I bring, and when the job ends, we all pack and we all go. And yeah, it's just how it is. We've seen it in Chelsea, and we've seen it, which also begs the question, Uguti, if I'm bringing 4 coaches, right, or if we're bringing in 4 coaches, there's salaries for all of them, and there's contracts for all of them. And if we then prematurely terminate these contracts from the club side, we now have to pay all of these people out. While we get another coach who's also gonna get his 4 or 5 people to come into the thing. It's very interesting, and the monies that get spent there, it's insane. But anyway, nonetheless, let's bring it locally, man. Let's bring it locally. It's been exciting locally. It's been wow, man. It's been great to see some of the football that we've been seeing in the local space, right? I want to start by saying to you guys, Guti, I'm a KaizerChiefs fan. I've said this, I've made this disclaimer at the beginning of the season. I always talk about that fact, Guti, I'm a KaizerChiefs fan. I'm a Chiefs fan before I'm a football fan, actually, right? If I think about it. I was introduced to KaizerChiefs as an idea or as a concept or as a team before I was actually introduced to what exactly KaizerChiefs does. I'm not sure if that makes sense, right? So I'm a fan of the brand of KaizerChiefs and everything else that comes with it, which then means football as well, right? So yeah, I'm a fan of KaizerChiefs first, and then I'm a fan of football secondly. And I've been loving to watch some of the football I've been watching. I am a few minutes away from Orlando Stadium, right? Like one day I'll just do a video and I'm going there for you guys as well. So I go to the Orlando Stadium often. And wow, man, that team, right? How they play, right? When they lost to Imakesi, right? And I was watching and I was sitting there, I was thinking, this is the last few minutes of that game. I was like, this is Orlando Pirates. This is Orlando Pirates. Not the fact that they lost, but the fact that they pushed and tried to come back to win that game. I was like, this is Orlando Pirates. And it went back to what I was saying in the beginning of the season, that I rate them very high as contenders of this league this season, of this title this season. I think Orlando Pirates are primed to win this league this season. And it is through the hard work of their coach. It is through his bravery. It is through what is instilled in his team, right? It's one thing to win AMA trophies. And again, I've said this, with sometimes coaches are cup coaches, right? So there's certain coaches who are great in winning new cups, because it's easy to encourage someone to say, listen, dude, this is it. You know what I mean? We win today, we win this cup. While it's a bit difficult to encourage someone for 30 games, for them to be consistent for 30 games, that's a bit of a challenge, right? But to see him do what he's doing, right? To see him, like, guys, I think it was last season, right? When I was like, why is Hoto a defender suddenly? And I was like, I don't understand this. Hoto is one of their best players. Hoto, I think, if he's not injured, is in that first 11, right? And there's other players who play that position, right? Whether he's a wing back or a full back, whatever, but he's taking position for someone that we as fans, or as Pirates fans as well, who would have thought maybe someone else could have played. Munyai, I think that boy is, and then there's Ushand, who gets injured as well. There's the other one who returned when they were playing Amazulu, who's been on injury as well for quite some time. But you look at Uhoto, for example, that's an example, and it's just doing great. You look at how this coach has sort of blended his team with the young ones, and I mentioned this, that he's let go of the Pules, the Makaringes, and all of those, Abo Lodge, and all of those players, but he's maintained forward movement. Like, he's brought in players who are scoring. These young players, these young boys are scoring, and they are not scoring amatepins, eh? They are shooting crackers from outside the box. Like when I was watching them play against Amazulu, I was at all watching that team play, watching how they defend, watching how the talent just came in there, slotted in, and is just holding that position as his own. Watching the former Amazulu captain who came in and is just like established himself in that position, because when the other players, as I said, Abu Makaringa left, you know what I mean, all those other players that we've known Pirates left, I thought that middle is gonna struggle, but no, it has not, because this coach and whoever is helping him have managed to plug those gaps, and it looks like, it's even in the defense, bro. Like Nda is not there. Not Sbego, the other one, the other Ukoki is not there. But look at that young boy who's coming there playing alongside Usbis. Look at him. Look at how comfortable he is in the ball. Look at how confident he is in his passes and just, his interceptions and all those things. Brilliant to watch. And I say this as a KaizerChiefs fan. But as a football fan, brilliant to watch Pirates now. And I'm saying it's the consistent ability of their coach to keep on innovating and keep on, finding ways to break down teams. They are 6-for-6 now. As I speak to you, they're 6-for-6. That's a great record. That for me is championship winning record. I wish them all the consistency. I wish they can just continue to be as consistent and as and they keep moving the way they're moving. Because at the end of the day, we need someone to challenge the Pretoria boys. Right? We need someone to challenge the Pretoria boys, and you need a league that says, if anyone stumbles, there's another team that's there to take over and go on to win, right? Like, for example, at some point, Pirates Sundowns both won 4 games going into like game 5, right? But on game 5, Pirates loses to Polokwane City. Sorry, Sundowns loses to Polokwane City. Pirates overtakes them, right? Game 6, Sundowns starts themselves up, wins a good win against Cape Town City. Pirates is like, it's cool. We won against TX Galaxy, so we are still 6-for-6. Sundowns is 6-4. There are five wins, 1 loss, right? And it's just how football should be like. Competitive football should be like. Again, because the Orlando Pirates is going to play Africa, there's also the Nedbank Cup that's going to come. And I mentioned this, and I think if someone heard me, they might thought maybe I'm crazy, but I honestly wish Pirates can just put all their basket in this egg, which is the league. Whenever you're going to play a cup game, get the other players to blend into the team, give them game time and all those, especially because when you're going to play in Africa, it's a league format, right? Home and away. Get the other players, right? And then get these ones that are your league players to rest sometimes, but also to keep going in terms of game time. So squad management is going to be very important for Pirates this season if they are to go and win the league, right? I honestly, that's what I think they should be doing, right? And I'll drop it here. I think I'll drop it here. All the best to Orlando Pirates. I honestly wish and genuinely wish them all the best. And one of the reasons I wish for them to win this league is because my team is way too far, right? I'm still at, the workshop. I'm still putting in the tires. I'm still making sure that the oil is changed and all those things. And it's a process, right? And I think Orlando Pirates went through that process. I wanted to also look at, if you look at the age average of this team from when the Reveiro took over to now, you'll see that average is going down because he's trusting his youngsters coming into the fold and doing what they need to do. He's trusting those youngsters. Beautiful thing to see. Very beautiful thing to see. And I mean, now as I transition into my team, right? Listen, quite a few things are positive, right? Quite a few things are still things that need to be fixed. As I said, we're still in the workshop, right? I am going to speak of both the negatives and the positive, but here's the thing, right? Number one, I accept the fact that Chiefs is in a rebuild. I accept that fact, right? I accept the fact that it will take time, right? I enjoy the fact that I'm seeing the rebuild sort of happening. I'm not rushing it. I'm not in a hurry for it. I am going to give them the patience to do that, right? And the reason why is that I'm seeing a different way of playing, way of approach, way of thinking, way of, doing things in the field, and how the coaches switches things around from time to time, that I'm like, okay, the rebuild is happening, right? I'll give you this example. When we were trailing SuperSport, right? When SuperSport beat us in the league, you could see when the coach was starting to make the changes that he's going three at the back, he's going, with more attackers. But you can see that it deliberately changes his team, and the team reacts, the team attacks more, the team, Fortunately, we could not break SuperSport, right? When we then play Makesi, go down 2-0, right? Again, you can see the change, right? Again, you can see him changing his structure. You can see a game plan. You could see even when Umsheng was being interviewed, them talking about the left back of Makesi and why they were playing those balls to Frosla the whole time, right? It's a plan. There's a plan. And not to bash anyone, not to speak ill of anyone who's come in and left that team, but I haven't seen a plan in KaizerChiefs for quite some time. The same questions that a lot of people were asking about Eric Ten Hag at Manchester United was the same what I was asking about the Chiefs. Like, what are we doing? What's the game plan? What's the culture of how we play? You know what I mean? What do we do when we lose the ball? What do we do off the ball, on the ball? What are we doing as a team that says to me, there's a plan here? I was not seeing that for KaizerChiefs for quite some time, right? But these are small positives, right, that are going to be put together to build this puzzle. I'm also liking the youngsters that are coming in. I want to say this, though, right, before I go into the next, that I encourage youngsters to go in. I want teams to play with young. It's great for the future of this country in terms of football. It's just wonderful to see, right? But I also want to see youngsters who are improving. I don't want you to play, or we as fans be excited for you just because you are a 19-year-old or 18 or 17-year-old, but we don't see progress. We don't see you improving game by game. We don't see you do something different game by game. That defeats the purpose. So that's why I wanna give Uzwane Umangete the player, not the former coach, a shout out, right? Because against the SuperSport, I was not happy with him. Honestly, I was not happy with him. He was losing balls. He was doing all those schoolboy mistakes, right? But he came in against Makesi, did a good thing, started playing. He was impactful. He just was positive with his play. That is what we call improvement. That is what we call you coming in and seeing what you did the last game and improving yourself in the next game, right? I wanna say, Uguti, the Villagazis, the Shabalalas of this world, Utuba, Ungobo, all of those players, happy to see them play. Happy to see them play. Must not lie, I was happy to see Umapoloba start. Because I think Ungobo is one of the most talented yet underrated player that we have. If you know, Ungobo has played in big tournaments when he was playing for the national team, the youth setup, right? So great to see him. Great to see him play. Great to see him start the game as well, right? Let's go to the negatives. I think, me personally, KaizerChiefs needs a striker, a prolific, goal-scoring, goal-fetching, dangerous, in the box, outside the box type of striker. I don't think we have that in our current striker. With due respect, I don't think he has the mentality to play for in big games. I don't think he has the mentality to be a line leader for a KaizerChiefs. He might think, he might seem, he might have the body for it, but I don't think he's the striker that we need, or that is gonna get us into the promised land. Again, with all respect, I don't think he's that type of striker. He might maybe be if he had the right competition, but he doesn't have right now, right? And yeah, man, I didn't like what he did when we played the Carling Cup with the Super Sport, where he scored and he then had a something to say to the fans. Listen, bruh, the fans are always going to either cheer for you or boo you. Fans will never boo you when you score goals. Fans will never boo you when you try and they see that you're trying. But fans are going to boo you when you miss obvious chances. Fans are going to boo you when you lose balls and all of those things. That's just how it is. So I think if KaizerChiefs can go into the market, look for a proper striker, right? And before I move into the second negative I wanted to mention, I think if you are looking for a striker at this day and age, right, or at this time as a KaizerChiefs, we are either looking for someone who is well established, well made, has won leagues, and is a goal fetcher of note. That's what you should be looking for. Or you're looking for someone, because you are in a rebuild, you're looking for someone with potential, you're looking for someone who is showing promise and is young enough to come in and be molded and be built into what you want as a team, right? I think that's the two that you need, or that's the two you can go for. You can either go for someone who is proven, someone who is well established, who can come in and do the job at the goal, right? Similar to what you did with the defenders, right? The defenders came in and did the job on the goal, are doing the job on the goal, right? Similar, that's what you need as someone who's going to be a striker. How you get that person, not paid for me to think about that. You have a scout, you recently signed a scout, let him go and look for that kind of player for you. And I think with what you're seeing in the field, right, I think KaizerChiefs also need to start putting their money where their mouth is. I think so. I think let's go out there as a team and buy players at the cost that we should be buying players. Topic for another day, but that's what I'm saying, because it is what's going to bring us back into the glory days. My view. Before I go in, so the second negative, or the second player that I think either needs to improve or just be benched for now, is our captain, right? Now, I don't know. Again, when he was benched and we were playing Super Sport, I was like, okay, that's a good start. Let's see the combination ga Castillo no Zwane. Maybe Zwane is gonna, get better and improve himself. But then Castillo gets injured, then captain comes in, and no. I wasn't happy with when he came in. I wasn't happy with him starting this game, the previous game that they played against Makesi. Dude, how many balls does he lose? He's not your... So in that middle of the pack, right, you need someone who's either impactful going forward, or you need someone impactful making sure that you defend, right? You need a Yeye, for example, right? Someone who would interrupt play but still take position and move us forward quickly. You need someone like a Katsande, for example, someone who's just going to win you play and give it to the next person, right? Or win you position and give you to the next person. But the way teams bypass KaizerChiefs midfield so easily worries me. Because you have these attacking young stars who are coming into the team and they're all going forward. You have the Serinos who Sereno is not your box to box, line to line type of player. No, he's gonna go forward and he's gonna walk back, right? Ushabalala tries. I've seen Vilagaz was trying as well, and in the middle of the pack, you're not getting that, right? Now, either, and this is me, either you say, listen, Jabulo, this is you, my guy. You are going to be that person for us. You are going to be the one that interrupts, breaks down play for the opponents. And then we're then going to get someone in front of you, a Zwane or whoever, to then take us forward. Or you go into market and get someone who's going to do that job. Because Maart is not doing that job. it's heavy on Jabulo Blob. And the games that we've seen Gunjabulo, he's great also going forward. He's great going forward. His passes are not as loose as the captain. So, yeah, that's just somewhere I think as this machine is being fine-tuned into a great F1 car, those are the smaller things I think we can fix. That's for me, right? I want to wrap this up, guys, by talking, and let's take it outside of the field, right? So, I've been loving going to the stadium, as I've said. I've been loving going to Orlando Stadium. Shout out to the drum guys. It's beautiful being there. It's just great being in that atmosphere and singing out loud and celebrating, because there was a song that they were singing that celebrated Ulo Kuzan, their late goalkeeper. I think it was great to listen to that song and them celebrating. There was a song they were celebrating their coach. They were celebrating Ofori, because Ofori was, recently with them before he went to Amazu. So it was great. It's great to see that. Like, I'm loving it. I'm loving going to the stadiums. And even when I'm not at the stadium, I'm loving seeing people going in and filling up the stadium. I've always advocated for the fans going to the stadium. This is our product. If we do not sell it, no one is going to buy it. Right? If we don't buy it, no one is going to, improve it. We the ones who have to improve it. And I'm liking all the platforms that are doing that. Amachita that are doing that. When the games are over, they interview fans. Love that. It brings the atmosphere to the stadiums, right? I'm enjoying it. But let's talk about us going to the stadium late. Told you this when I was going to the stadium, KaizerChiefs versus Sundowns game, the league. I was late, right? I think I was by if you know the stadium, I was by the Shell Garage when they announced that the game is going to be pushed to 3:30. That means already by the time I was outside, which is, the traffic was crazy, I was already late, right? I understand that. I could see around me as well, a lot of us were late. Now, I failed to understand. I saw it also happening at the new Peter Mokaba Stadium as well. The game was pushed, right? The Chiefs Supersport game was pushed, right? Now, I don't know, right? I think, personally, I was late because I took that game as if I've been to KaizerChiefs Sundowns games at the FNP Stadium. It was never as packed as it was. The number that I saw that day was almost the Soweto Derby numbers. I wasn't expecting that, right? Now, I don't know, Guti, is this something that happens because we the fans don't respect time? Is it something that happens because we the fans are not enticed to be at the stadium on time? Is this something that happens because of the traffic that is outside the stadiums, right? I've never seen or been at any sporting event outside of football where it had to be postponed because there was a lot of people outside still streaming into the stadium. Seen it at Moses Mapida, this happening as well. Seen it almost everywhere in the country. Again, I ask the question, why is it happening? Is it something that the fans can fix or the fans should fix? Is it something that the teams and the people who run the league can and should fix? What is it? I know there's branches, and I know branches are attached to the teams, and I know these branches have meetings and all those things. Isn't this something that's being discussed to say, listen, we struggle to get to the stadium because of 1, 2, 3, 4? Because it shouldn't be happening, guys. It shouldn't be happening that a broadcaster has to wait for you to be at the stadium for the game to go on. It shouldn't be happening, because remember, once the broadcaster waits for us, it then has a ripple effect, right? And that ripple effect impacts other things that the broadcaster uses to generate the money that they plow into the league. It's simple maths, right? So what should happen, right? My thing is, I've been to the stadium early, but it's boring at the stadium early. It really is boring. All you hear is that them pumping you with those speakers, for nothing. I've been to the stadium way early, It's boring. Remember, for a 3 o'clock game, sometimes the gates open at 10, sometimes they open at 12. At 12 o'clock, the team is not even there. At 12 o'clock. Why are fans there? How are you engaging the fans? You know, when you go watch a movie, right? Just make you a quick example. They say a movie starts at 7, right? You get there at 7. You are thinking, I'm late, you get there. The next 15 minutes are going to be other movies that are coming that you must now watch or entice you to watch. But they keep you engaged until the movie starts. They make sure that you settle in until the movie starts. They make sure that you are crunching on your popcorn until the movie starts. So what are football people doing to keep the fans engaged? And I understand, I've seen it, they'll bring entertainers, right? But most of the time, those entertainers entertain the fans on halftime. During halftime, the fans are up there in the beer yard, getting their beers, up there in the hot dog stands and all of that, getting food. So who are you entertaining? Now let's think about how do we keep our fans engaged or enticed for them to want to go to the stadiums. Fans, can we just respect the time? Speaking for myself as well, or speaking to myself as well. Can we respect the time? Can we get there on time? Can we also voice out the facts as to why are we not able to get there on time? What's the issue? I remember back in the day, Mr. Mara was talking about the traffic going into the derby. It hasn't changed. Even worse, at the soccer city FNP Stadium, there's a Reveiro buses. There's an option for a Reveiro. There's an option for the train. There's many forms of transport that can take you there, but they don't function. Instead, we have to drive cars coming into coming the Deep Kloof side, coming the Rivali side, and we just block that traffic. The Nazareth Road becomes a nightmare because there's no other forms of transportation to take us and deliver us to the games. What happened to the shuttles we used to have? Because I remember there was 1 season or 2 seasons where shuttles, for example, for the derby that will take people from Metokoza Park and rides, they call them, and they will take us there. I know, Guti, when we were doing a World Cup, there was a lot of park and rides. Why are we not doing that? There's there's taxi owners in our locations who've graduated into bus owners. How are we not engaging them to say, listen, can you give us 10, 20 buses to shuttle people from back and forth from one location that is safe, cars can be parked there, and we control this traffic. And we strictly say, after 2 o'clock, there's no longer transportation. The last buses will leave the park area and ride to the stadium at this particular time, so that we make sure that at least we give people an hour to go sort themselves out and go into the stadium. But these are ideas. What's that word? Copyright these ideas. Anyway, guys, thank you so much. Before we wrap it up, Usbusiso Zuma from the last quiz we did. So thank you so much for engaging in the quiz. Usbusiso Zuma was the first one to go, right? Usbusiso Zuma played pretty much just 1 season with Pirates. Came in, as I said, 98, 99. By 2000 left. Usiabonga Nomvete then followed, I think, the next season, if not 2 seasons after that, went to Udinese, while Uzuma went to Copenhagen. So Zuma was the first one to leave. It's great that Lokozana, Abakolusi produced 2 great strikers that went on to dominate and play and make their mark in Europe. Usbusiso Zuma is a legend at Denmark. He's just big in Denmark. And it's good to see that, and it's good to know that they did that. Quick updates that they came back. Zuma went to Sundowns. He played for a SuperSport, played for a team called Vasco da Gama, if you guys remember. And I think he called it quits, right? And then while Unomvete came back, played for a Pirates, played for a Swallows, and I think he called it quits at the Mazulu, if I'm not mistaken. So those are the 2 legends that I was talking about. So while I'm on the quiz, I'm gonna ask you guys the next quiz question. So, in again, when the PSL started, we started with 18 teams, right? Now we're sitting on 16. What was the year that we moved from 18 to 16? What was that year? What season was that we moved from 18 teams to 16 teams? Just the year, on what season that was. That's the quiz. That's the question for the next quiz. Thank you so much, guys. Truly and fully and humbly appreciate all the supports, all the comments, all the likes, all the sharing. Again, please like, share, comment, but most importantly, please subscribe. Please keep following this platform, guys. Without you, there's no Ringa Diski. Igama lami uSicelo kaDlamini, and you've been watching Ringa Diski. Thank you so much. See you on the next episode. Enjoy the football that's coming up this weekend. There's cup competition this weekend in the PSL. There's great games as well if you are into the European type of leagues. There's great games to see there. So yeah, man, looking forward to the weekend. Thank you so much. Enjoy it. Adios. Cheers, guys.